Hi, and welcome to a brand new episode of Sipping Tea with Suzanne. I am your fabulous host, Positively Suzanne, and I'm so excited to be in the studio today. And I have with me the lovely Miss Evelyn Toney. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Yeah, so I got to tell folks, I did not know that she had naturally curly hair, and I am
Yes.
loving,
Yes, it's
like,
all
just,
out like
oh my
yours.
God, like, I
Yeah.
feel like, yes, I just loving the
Like,
hair. I feel like we should go to, like, Barcelona together.
girl, we're gonna do something.
Like,
You know what? Not to like. I feel like we could do like the whole Shakira and Beyonce
yes.
thing. Like,
Oh,
you know
oh.
what I'm talking about? Okay, no.
Say no
I'm
more,
not
because
looking.
you listen. Say no more, because I Beyonce stan.
Listen, all
And
day.
Shakira, I've been trying to the hips don't lie for a long time. I mean, mine kind of lied a little, so
But you know what? After 3 kids, you know what? My hips don't lie. So.
they don't
But I
lie.
feel like they show more when I have my hair curly.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay,
But it matches your hair, the vibe,
it does.
the weather.
I know it's curly hair day. It's curly hair day, and the
So-
weather tomorrow is definitely curly hair day, girl. Because
The rest of the week.
we're getting a nor'easter. Yeah,
I know.
that's gonna be interesting.
I know.
Yeah, but I'll be inside of the QCC graduation in DCU Center. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. If you're tuned in on YouTube, you're on the Positive Vibe Studio. If you're on Facebook, you're on the Positively Suzanne. So I really do thank you, all my viewers and subscribers, for tuning in week after week, for your interaction, for your engagement. I appreciate you. I strive to bring you programs and guests that I find phenomenal, and based on your interaction with this current week and the previous week, I could see that you guys also enjoy that. Shout out to our executive producer Paul Anderson for making the magic happen week after week. And as I mentioned, my goal is to bring you fabulous and engaging guests. And this week, we are so humbled to have the lovely Miss Evelyn Toney. And there's just so much that's going on with you, and there's so much that you do. And, it's hard sometimes to figure out where to start, because, like, there's so much we want to talk about.
I know.
And then
Especially with me, I don't even know. Like, what is she gonna ask me? Because I'm like, there's so much to me. Like, oh
exactly. And like you're not monolithic, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much. And then we find out our mutual love of fashion and shopping, and but that's a whole nother show.
My God. I know. Maybe it could be like sipping tea at night.
Yes,
or something? I don't know.
yes, absolutely, like late night, late in the midnight hour.
Oh, yes.
Okay, all
I
right.
love that. Hey, sign me up.
All right. See? You heard it here first. She said sign her up. But no, truly, welcome to the show. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
saying yes. And I do welcome the opportunity to talk to folks in the community that I believe is making a difference. And just really wanted to talk to you. You've been in Worcester for a long time. And
Yep.
just really, how did you get your start? So right now, you are community relations with Bay State Bank. You're a mortgage loan officer. You're in commercial lending, where
Yep.
there's not a lot of people of color in commercial lending. So kudos and big up for that. But just really wanted to talk to you about, was that what you always wanted to do? And how did you get your start? So let's talk about baby Evelyn.
Oh,
or was it
gosh.
Evie?
Oh, it's a lot. Evie, Ev. A lot of people call me Ev, E.
Yes.
Some people used to call me Avalon with the A. I don't know where they got that from.
Let's
But anyway,
move
it's a
on.
whole. Let's move
Let's
on to
move
that.
on.
Let's move on with that. I don't even know where to start. So, born and raised here in Worcester. I still live in Worcester. I love Worcester. Man, I don't even know where to begin. So, my mother is from Ecuador. My dad's Puerto Rican. I was born here. And I grew up in Plumley Village. I don't know if you know what Plumley is.
I do
You know
know
what Plumley is,
Plumley.
right?
Girl.
Like, girl, I'm sorry. It's Plumley Village, okay?
Move it
So
on.
I move it on. So I grew up in Plumley Village. I made a lot of friends. One of my close friends, Bany. We grew up in Plumley together. Just always, as a little girl, my mother was an immigrant. She came from Ecuador. And I always tell the story to people, but she inspired me. My mother was a single mom. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 2. And I just saw my mother, she didn't speak the language. She went to school at night. She worked so many jobs. And back then, they only made like $2 an hour.
Jeez,
I don't know how she did it with 3 little kids. So here we are. We didn't have much. We didn't have, I remember we had a couch. We had 2 couches. My brothers had their room, and me and my mother used to put the couches together to sleep together. So I'm just giving you the mindset of how I grew up. We didn't have a lot. We were on food stamps, but back then it was more like Monopoly money. You remember that?
Yes.
And then the block of cheese. I'm sorry, but that block of cheese was so good. But girl, like that cheese. I'm sorry, the welfare cheese was good.
Was it good?
It was so good. I don't know that. I rember the beans and not so much,
Okay.
but the welfare cheese was on point. But just growing up on that, and then watching my mother go at night to go learn English, right? And then come home at 11 o'clock almost every day. I learned how to cook when I was young, like 7 years old. So I took care of my brothers, and just seeing her, just trying to make a better life for us, and inspiring to say, hey, as soon as I turn 12 or 13, whatever work, the workman, was it permit, what's it called, the permit that the kids
permit.
get? Yes, I think you have to be like 13 or something like that.
Well, it's 14 now. I don't know if it was
It was
back in the
13
day.
before.
It was 13,
It was
yeah.
13.
It's 14,
I couldn't
yeah.
wait. I said, as soon as I get a job, I'm going to help my mom pay the bills. I'm going to get my mom out of here. We're always going to have food in the fridge. Just that mindset of like, I just had it instilled in me. Like, whatever I have to do to make money, I'm going to do it. But obviously the right way, not like cray.
Yeah.
But fast forward, my mother ended up going to beauty school, and that's how she learned how to cut hair. I was one of her guinea pigs, so everybody that lived in Plumlee at the time was a guinea pig to my mom. So she literally chopped my hair up like a boy. So she had, I have two brothers, myself, and everybody thought she had three boys because I looked sad. Okay, for a long time. So a lot of people had a boy haircut for my mom. But long story short, our life got better. She ended up moving up. She ended up buying her first business by herself as a single mom. And it's crazy because I just remember watching her, and this is the woman that, I feel bad because my mom really tried to be things for us, but my brothers I was kind of like their mom. I made sure that they had food on the table. I made sure that they were taken care of. Mari Seli, right? Mari, which I love you if you're watching. Her family actually was a big part of my life. When they first started their organization, they started in Plumlee in their house.
Oh, okay.
So guess who was one of their families? My family, my mom. So they used to give us like boxes of cereal, food, like literally our survival. And that's like, I think that's the part when I realized that was my community. This is how we help each other. And I feel like that's what we need today, right? So I always had that instilled with me, like, wow, they did this for us, and I want to be able to give back. Never forget that. That's why me and her are like this. No matter what, I support her in whatever she does. She's doing God's work all
She
day.
is. She truly is. And
does
she's been on the show. Yeah.
Yes, and she's amazing. So thank you,
is.
Mariseli, and her mom and her dad, which I love. But with that being said, just growing up, I'm like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. There was a lot of like things that went up. I went through the singing phase. I actually used to sing. Can you believe it or not? I opened up for Ashanti and Ja Rule. I did at the Harvick Civic Center.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm not gonna sing.
I was just gonna.
I am not gonna sing.
Like producer.
I am not gonna sing.
Give her some music.
Okay.
Like.
Okay. No. Sorry.
All right, go on.
Sidetrack. But I wanted to do like just I don't know, just I didn't really have something I wanted to do. I just grew up in a hair salon. I grew up in a hair salon. I learned how to do hair. I did everybody's hair. I did my teacher's hair starting at 13. And I don't know, I loved the sense of talking to people. Every time somebody sat in my chair, I would listen. I became a good listener. And I knew that everybody that walked in, they needed something different. Like I had an appointment, somebody would say, hey, I'm going to get my hair straightened, but I know this person's going through like a divorce or whatever. So I know that I had to prepare for myself to help whatever I can. Because you know what, if you have a good hairstylist, you know that you're kind of like they're psychiatrists to you, right?
Yes.
They're good listeners. So just with that, I know I'm all over the place because there's a lot to me, guys. And people that know me in the community know me from the salon and my mom, and we all work there. That's where everything started. That's my entrepreneur. That's my businesswoman. That's me. Just seeing my mother, what she built on her own, and the community that she built, the people that she inspires, the people that her friendships with people to this day. My mother's still at the salon to this day. And that's what helped me grow. And I'm like, what can I do? Then I ended up becoming a single mom, fast forward. And I had gotten into the opportunity with one of my really good friends, which is Kelly and Rich McNally and Kelly Lazat. This is in my 20s. I got into the mortgage business. I started as a loan officer. And I was their first kind of Hispanic person there. Actually, I was, because I did their commercials and stuff. And I did like first-time home buyer classes. And I remember just like having that, like, wow, I have this knowledge. Not only can I do your hair, I could also help you find a house and teach you about, kind of financial empowerment.
Absolutely.
How can I get access to, where can I get this money? How can I buy a home? So I started off that way. Fast forward, I grew my career. doing that. I did hair on the side still, just certain clients. And then fast forward, I didn't know where it was going. I ended up getting promoted to do underwriting, director of underwriting for a big company called PHH Auckland. And I was underwriting for 15
I know
years.
them.
I know.
I had my mortgage with
I
them.
know.
We're
That's
not going to talk about it.
I know. Listen, the secondary market is
I will
like
not hold that against you.
I know, girl, please.
Okay.
But listen.
Okay.
So I worked there for 15 years, remotely, way before COVID.
Yeah.
Right? COVID was a different beast. And I used to work, my market was California and Florida. So my team was remote, and I would have to stay on for 12-hour days.
Wow.
So it made sense for me because I had 3 kids, you know. It was good for me because that way my husband can go to work, and then I can bring the kids to school and then stay home with them when they came home, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't really get to leave. So there was kind of like after I left the salon, I was always out and about. There I go back being a remote position. At home, I didn't get to do the things I wanted to. So when the weekend came, I was fully exhausted.
Yeah.
But my passion was like, wow, I just want to be out there with the people. I used to be on Facebook and I see all the amazing things. I saw Madi do her thing, and I'm like, oh my God, how can I help? Right? Because sometimes we're behind the scenes. It's like I want to do things, but I have friends that are they're introverts, and I'm very extrovert. Can you tell? I'm so out there, like, hey, I can't be in a room where it's quiet, and I'm like crickets. But it's like, just how do I get out there? I want to be able to help, right? So, fast forward, the industry changed. I got laid off from work, and they gave me a severance package, and I took a year off, which was great because I just had my last son. He's 6 now. And I ended up became partners with Kelly Lazat with our home mortgage, and I let my license lapse for a broker license because I didn't need it. I was an underwriter director. I wasn't originating anymore.
Yeah.
Then I had to go back and take the test. That stupid ass test. That test is hard.
That test is
It's terrible. Like
Atrocious.
I don't even
Listen,
I got my real estate license. Another thing. Oh my God! You're like, well, how many layers is to this girl? The real estate license was easy compared to the loan officer test.
I took that. It was brutal.
It was awful.
Brutal.
Right? So I had to take that so I can go work with Kelly. I became his partner. And then I was out again in the community. I loved it. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited just to be with everybody in my community. Just I want to be able to give them knowledge. People you say, Evelyn, you still doing hair? You still do eyebrows? I'm like, not really, but whatever. Then fast forward, how I landed this job was just being in circles, knowing people. I always show up as me. So what you see here is what you see everywhere. Professionally, personally, I'm just the same person. You see me out.
I've seen it.
I am me all the time, and I'm always authentic. I always say that, I'm really big on trust and building relationships on trust, right? And I go as myself. So with that being said, just being around the right circles and, people that see what your vision is like, wow, I know Evelyn. My name came up in some circles, and then I got the job at Bay State. They made this position for me. So I am the Vice President of Community and Business Development. And what that means is I have a really, really extent knowledge on the mortgage industry, like the lending part of it. I also do real estate, and that helps a lot because not only can I talk about, just the banking stuff, being open up accounts and stuff, but I can talk about mortgages. I can talk about your business. I'm helping you in that business aspect of it. And then the community part is just me being out in the community. I always say, yes, everywhere I go, you're going to say, Evelyn, oh, here comes the bank. No, I want you to say, here comes Evelyn, because I come from myself first. I always go because you're going to remember who I am as a person.
Absolutely.
So I always say I show up to these things because I really believe in like just my goal is to get people in homes, whatever it is. And unfortunately, if it's not in Worcester, you can go to Springfield. We can talk to me later. We could talk about that. But just that's my passion, And then now that I'm here, I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Good.
It's so weird because I think from the beginning, just seeing my mother and how she built relationship, I think my passion is community. So I think I have the best of both worlds now. Now I love the business part, but guess what? This is what I can help you with.
Absolutely.
I'm not full-blown sales all the time.
No, absolutely. Listen, thank you. There's so much in that conversation that you just had, and I want to say thank you for honestly coming on and sharing your story, because I think oftentimes when someone sees someone like you who's very successful, and if they don't know your story, they don't get to see themselves in you, right?
Yeah.
And I always say to people, like, when you have made it, share where you came from, so that others that are in similar places, that are in Plumley Village, that are in, you know, other places that, you know, folks may have written off or whatever, can say, like, you know, others make it. So never be ashamed of where you started, and sharing that proudly. And, you know, you're still, Madi, it's so amazing to hear that, like, from way back in the day, they were doing that. And, you know, she talks so much about her parents' legacy, and she's continuing that tradition for them, and, you know, changes and touches lives. And it's really awesome to see something like that.
I'm
and
the product of it.
like, you're the product of it, and you guys have remained friends, and, you know, supporting each other in the community. And Madi is the same. FYI, she's the one who told me about Leadership Worcester. Like,
yes.
it's I met her.
I bet she told everybody.
I was somewhere, and I don't know. She was like, she should be in Leadership Worcester, and like, this is, and she was just like, go, and like, just, you know. And I was like, and, you know, got in and like whatever. But I love women like that, you know, encourages other women, supports other women, and gives them, you know, opportunities, or let them know about opportunities that helps them advance and elevate. So I love that for you, and that, you know, your mom was able to be that example. And one of the things I say is, like, you know, our parents parent the way that they had to, because that's the only thing they knew, right? But it's up to us, and then to do better, and then the next generation will do better, because we also have opportunities, right? But I'm so glad that you were able to get those lessons from her, to see what it means to work hard, and you knew that she wanted to be there, because, I mean, who wouldn't choose to be at home, you know, with their kids and watching TV and cooking dinner? I certainly we've gone through that. I've gone through that, where, you know, with my career, I just couldn't, right?
But imagine back then.
Could not.
Not to cut you off, sorry.
No, you're good.
But it's just, imagine. I'm gonna give you one story real quick.
Yeah.
And this is the one that, I didn't wear like waterproof makeup, so I hope I'm not gonna cry when I say this. So.
Okay.
Damn, I'm not gonna say it because I didn't wear waterproof.
You know what? And I'm like, I'm out of tissue. I think I used the last tissue.
I'm like, oh my God,
Okay,
I got a
all
scarf.
right,
Okay.
all right, use your
Let me
scarf.
So
Okay.
this is what happened. So
What's up?
my mother one day, and I'm telling you guys, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, we didn't have a lot. Like, it's gonna be gross. Like, I remember having cereal, and there was cockroaches, and we had to like smush out the cockroaches just to have cereal. We didn't have anything. You know, we had to wait monthly for whatever the food stamps came in. It wasn't enough. $2 an hour was not enough.
No.
And I remember my mother coming home. We didn't have anything to eat. And my brothers fell asleep. And going to sleep hungry is the worst.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't know what to do. So she went outside. I was watching her. I remember I lived at 35 Laurel Street, apartment 27. Okay? I lived right off the bridge in Plumley. I used to walk to school every day. I lived there for a long time. And I watched her from the window, and I was on the second floor, and I saw her crying, and she's praying. My mom has her faith in God is amazing. You know, that I grew up with that, just watching her pray. And she was praying to God. I'm watching her. And she goes, she's praying to God, and she's like, I don't have any food. How am I going to feed my children? You know, and then she was like, and what am I supposed to do? I'm like, here, like, I want to help. How can I help? Don't you know she finds $20 on the floor? She found $20 on the floor. Can I tell you, my mother picked up that $20. She walked down to that corner store, which was Andy at the time. He's probably still there. I haven't even visited him, but he was like our savior too. Back then with $20, you could buy it.
A
decent amount of money. Okay.
Egg,
but
milk,
she came,
bread, cheese.
It was like literally, I remember like that moment just changed for me, like her faith and what she did for us. And like, wow, you know, that's my mom. You know, and for me to see that, I'm like, I always hold that dear to my heart, because I'm like, you know, my husband probably thinks I'm a crazy person, but I'm always checking my balances. You have to be good at budgeting, because, you know, you don't want to be down to your $20. But we all been there. We all been to that situation, and it freaking sucks when you have children and they're relying on you. And for her to, you know, I would never forget that moment, because I'm like, you know, it was what taught me faith. It taught me to believe. It taught me to know that, you know what, there's a higher power. You know, my mother, what she did was just amazing, and I'll never forget that moment. You know, and from then on, you know, when she started getting clients at the salon, we ended up moving out in 1994, and she bought her first house that she still lives in today. She's not gonna leave.
She's not gonna leave.
And guess what, guys? I live right across the street from them. Okay? I literally opened the door, and she's right there. So fun fact, all right, every day, this is the best thing ever, guys. My mom is my best friend. I love her. I love her. Mommy, I love you if you're watching. I mean, she's probably not watching me because she doesn't know how to do that stuff. And maybe she is. I don't know. So, right? So, she, oh my God. So, fun fact, every morning, I get my kids up, same routine. And at 7:20, she calls me, Evelyn, the coffee's ready. So I go, okay, I'm living my robe. I just got my kids' stuff ready for school. I said, I'll be right back. Open the door, walk over, well, my chancletas, that's flip-flops. And I have my cup of coffee with my mom. Every morning, 10, 15 minutes, we're sitting there talking about the day, who's gonna cook, because she's gonna cook or I'm gonna cook, we share. I mean, I literally can walk to my mom's house across the street.
Amazing.
And I'm never gonna leave. As soon as that house came up on the market.
Yeah, you bought. Well, she's not gonna leave now.
Well, she's been this since 1994.
She's not gonna leave because now you bought the house, so she's really not gonna leave.
I know, but it's like the best, guys.
Awesome.
Like I have such a good relationship with my mom, and I think she's the reason why I am the woman I am today. You know, she's amazing.
Mama, thank you.
I love her. I love you and everything that you do, girl.
Thank you, darling. I love you. I just, I'm so, oh my God.
There's a lot to me, so
I'm
just
so
reel me in. Just say, girl, focus. Focus, just reel me in.
I want to hear it all. I want to hear it all because, I knew that there were layers. I didn't know that there was this many layers. I didn't do any research because I really wanted to.
You Googled me.
I wanted to hear it, straight from you and your story because I think, we can see people and we can make assumptions and, about their lives and things like that. And what you're sharing with me right now, like just how you learned about faith from your mom and how, what your mom went through, it inspired you to, help her and all of that. And, we know it could have gone the opposite way. We could have resented your mom and all these things. So, to get that lesson from that and to still have a great relationship, that's great. And you said your mom is still working.
She's still at the salon, Smart Cuts Plus on Main Street next to Clark University, across the street from St. Peter's Church.
Okay. All right. So go get your hair cut.
But call her first because she's very old school. Okay? Call her
Oh, you do
first.
have to call her?
You got to call her first.
Okay.
Because she know you coming. She's like, no.
Okay. See, and this generation does not like
No,
phone
they don't
calls.
even know. And she would, if you have long hair like me, she's going to put rollers in your hair. So prepare yourself.
Oh, geez.
Because she does not believe, no, it's not happening. She keeps it old school. So. Yeah,
Clearly.
it's so old school. But if you want that old school feeling with the rollers and the coffee, go see my mom.
Okay,
guys.
so she's like the back in the day salon,
Yes.
not these hoity-toity.
And no, she will tell you the truth. Sometimes I like cringe, and me and my brother's like, oh my God, she just did not say that right now.
Oh my God.
She doesn't hold it back, and that's where I get it from. I swear, I get it from her.
Like
Not like crazy like her, but like more like I'm toned a little bit.
But I think she's earned the right. I think when you hit a certain age, you've earned the right to be honest. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when it's coming at you, it's not okay. It's very blunt. And like my mom sometimes I have to say to her, it's like, Mom, like just because you're that age doesn't mean you say what comes to your mouth. She's like, I'm old. I'm like, don't play that game.
Do you know the Golden Girls?
Yes.
You know Sophia?
Yes.
Thank you. I mean,
Yes.
I can't even describe it. She just says things sometimes.
Okay.
I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, so I love the Golden Girls.
Yeah, but I love the Golden Girls too.
FYI, I mean, I think they were all like savages,
Yeah.
but.
Well, I relate to Sophia kind of.
So you're more Sophia.
I think so. Don't say Blanche because she's a little out there.
Okay, so.
Well, Blanche was like really fashionable. Let's take that, but she's.
Okay, so there's 4 of them, right?
Yes.
So my sister, so there's always like a group of friends and like sisters. So I'm always the Dorothy.
No, you wasn't. Why?
I don't know.
That's messed up.
She is
But actually, you know
savage.
what? But Dorothy's savage though.
Like she
She
is
be dropping
quite
them in.
savage.
She
Like
is.
she is. I think she's.
Well, well, I'd rather
I
be
think she's
Dorothy,
mean.
Blanche, or
Dorothy
Sophia.
or Rose.
But Rose Nyland, she's a little like
She is.
She's
but,
funny.
But she's smart though.
She-
Like I think.
I don't even know because
She
she's
was
never
not
said-
as dumb as she looked. Like how did we get on the
I
Golden
don't
Girls?
know. I don't see what happened. I forgot we were on camera.
This
I'm
is a
sorry.
conversation
I'm
between
sorry.
don't.
I'm sorry. I don't
love
even
it.
know how I said it.
I love the Golden Girls.
Me too.
We love the Golden Girls.
I will still watch it to this
I'm
day.
a Dorothy. I still do. It's in my my Hulu save.
Thank you.
And like some nights after the news and everything, like I need a
Can you
Golden
bring
Girls
it back?
fix.
It's,
Like
it's hilarious.
it's just it's hilarious. Yeah,
I
like
know. They should do something like.
picture this, Sicily, 1982. All right, moving on.
Okay, sorry.
All right, we're done. So So is how your journey gets started. So when you first started in the mortgage lending industry, so there was not a lot of folks that looked like you.
No.
How did you just really decide to stay in? Because it must have been challenging.
I like the challenge.
Okay.
I think I was being a fighter. I always thought about me being a fighter. So if I didn't do it, who was going to do it? You know, so I put myself out there. When you're out there, it's hard because a lot of people don't understand. Like, it'd be nice for the business to come in, but you got to go out there and make relationships.
Absolutely.
You know, like, how do I talk to people? I have a lot of people that a lot of friends that are in the similar positions, like, loan officers and stuff. And I say, you just got to be out there and see what they need. You know, because everybody's application is different. Nobody has the same thing. Everybody's financial situation is different. Everybody's credit history is different. You know, just understanding your market, understanding your people. You know, have a target place. Like, my thing was like, I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to sit at the table. I wanted to fight. So whatever I had to do, if it took me and then to bring others with me, why not? That's how I've always been.
Good.
You know what I mean? And it didn't bother me as much. I just wish we had more resources, you know, more programs and stuff. But it's getting there.
Good, good. So tell me about Bay State Bank, because I want to talk about the position.
Okay.
But first, let's talk about Bay State Bank, where it's located, what it's known for, and why you said yes to a role at Bay State Bank.
Okay, so Bay State Bank, there's well, I'm at the Franklin Street office. That's where my physical office is, but I can be anywhere. I'm not really tied to a branch. We have, we're in Worcester, Auburn, Holden, and then we're going to open up a Shrewsbury branch.
Okay.
So hopefully by the end of the summer or maybe in midsummer, it's going to be
Look at
great.
that.
I
Yes,
know.
congrats.
I'm excited.
Yes.
But Bay State is a community bank. It's been here for 130 years. And what I love about it is that it's what it is. It's a community bank. And what makes it different is that, you know, when I wish that if people are like, wow, it's been here for so long, I didn't even know it was there. Because it's like if you look at it, it's like literally lost in time, you know? And it's like people don't understand, like, okay, it's the banking part. You get the bigger banks and it's more like convenient for you, blah, blah, blah. But then you don't realize what they do. Do they give back to the community, right? So if you bank with a local community bank, they were able to give back more, you know? Like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to say this, but credit unions don't pay taxes.
Okay.
So they don't get that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying. But
Go on.
Oh shoot! It didn't even matter because I have my mic on, right? And I just
You do.
Oh my god! This is getting better, guys. I'm spilling the tea.
I actually have this that says "Spill the tea."
I can't.
And I actually got this as a gift from Natalie Rodriguez.
Oh,
yes,
look,
because
okay.
she won some. I'm gonna tell you, the community of women that I have around me.
I love that.
Is incredible. So
And
she
thought
saw
of
it.
you.
Yeah, she saw it in a space, and she thought of me, and she got it. So I have it here.
I love it. Look,
Okay.
so I'm spilling the tea.
Okay, all right. So go on.
Okay, so just the whole community thing. I love the vision, right? So the vision was just think, you know, when you think about a bank, right? You
Yes.
think about just, you know, I need to get my money, I need to go deposit my money, right? Oh, I need a loan, but I don't want to go to the bank because I need to get my credit right. Right? You always think in the mindset like I have to prepare myself before I go see you. No, that's not the case.
Okay.
So with this, with the community bank like Bay State, is we're telling you we want to empower you. So let's say you need help, let's help you. You know, let's see where your credit is at. All right, you can't do it right now, but let's get you there. You know how many people that I worked with, right? And I'm going to give you a good example. There was a client of mine, and the credit wasn't that great, you know, and they get really discouraged because the biggest fear is when you pull credit, you're afraid you get afraid because you don't want to get rejected, right?
Yes.
But rejection is something, it's redirection, right? Somebody just told me that. Jess, if you're hearing me. She was like, Evelyn, rejection is just redirection.
Yes,
I was like,
yes, it
girl,
is.
yes, it is.
Yes,
So
it
now
is.
that's like my thing. And you got to think about it like this. Okay, you can't do it right now, but let's focus on how I can get you there. So that's what we do there. We're going to say, hey, this is the path. Let's get you there. You know, 6 months from the day that he got supposedly rejected, he got a house.
Wow.
He just had to do the right things, you know, like, you know, just looking at the credit, just simple things of credit. Just, you know what? And there's a lot, guys, use your apps. Like, like Experian, Credit Karma, free credit report, anything that's free use, right? They have all those tools to say, hey, look at my credit score from a long shot. What can I do to fix it? Use all those tools.
Absolutely.
It's just knowledge is power, and it's crazy. I mean, we have chat GBT it. You know what I mean? Like, right? It's just insane how much technology we have, and just, it's all about educating yourself, right? Some people don't know where to begin, but with that being said, it's like if you come into Bay State today, right? And you say, I don't even know how to start the process. I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car, I want to do this. Guess what? We're going to do it step at a time. The first thing we need to know is your budget, which is very, very important. And then we work on your credit, see where you're at. And then we take it from there.
Okay.
We'll give you a path. And that's what the difference is with working with the bigger bank and with the smaller community bank.
Okay.
And because of that and those values and their mission, that's me. I want to be able to give back to the community. And now that I'm doing what I've always loved to do, which is my passion is just, I love helping people. I genuinely do. I love uplifting our people. I love just people in general. I just want to be able to say, hey, Evelyn, I need help. How can I do this? And you can't have that mindset like, I give you something, I need something in return. No. You don't do those things, like who's watching you? The man upstairs. That's all that matters, and for yourself. Like my mother told me this. She's like, when I used to feel down, and I was a single mom before I got married, and it was some days that were really tough. And she says, when you feel bad, help somebody. So when I used to feel, and even just apart from just helping them in general, I would help people. And whatever it was, like if I need to give somebody a ride or pick up their kid from school, whatever, do their hair for free, it made me feel good because I helped them from that moment. I didn't expect anything in return, but it helped me, because of those values that I have, and then I have an institution that backs me up. It's like a win-win. They see the same vision, like, wow, that makes sense. They genuinely do care. You actually talk to somebody, or you don't, when you call customer service, this is 24 hours customer service. You're not talking to a robot, you're actually talking to a real person.
A human being.
And then our CEO, our first person of color to hold this position, like,
Seth.
I mean, he's changing the game.
Good.
Like his mindset, and honestly, it's because of Seth. I'm here, right here in this position, because I saw his vision and the way that he's taking the banking industry. He's taking to that's where I want to be. I want to be able to empower you. And now, not only can I know with my knowledge, and then, with their support, I'm able to give more.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. So what are some of the community things that in your role that you're currently doing, so that, the audience could hear about, that they can get involved? Like, so what are some of the community partnerships that you've formed, things that you are doing?
So I have a lot of things that I do, guys. Oh my God. First of all, can I say they could follow me on social media?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's Miss Evelyn Toney. I hope I'm saying that on Instagram. I need to do the other one, the X, Twitter. I don't even have a Twitter, but don't look for me on that. I'm not even on that.
This is the wrong audience, girl.
Yeah. So it's Instagram and Facebook. Okay. I usually post about my family and all the community stuff I do.
Yes.
I do a lot of things of just everything. I'm involved in like when Madi needs like sponsorships, giving back to the community, back to school stuff, baseball games, because sports bring community together.
It does.
I'm involved with the chamber events. I'm involved with a lot of the festivals. I mean, anywhere that you need me, basically, like I see what you're doing, like, oh, Suzanne, I want to be there too. I gotta go. Like you just have to get the network, be around those people, and just literally, like, if I really feel like I should start posting more things, like, hey guys, this is what's going on. Maybe we should do that. Like, hey guys, this is what's going on. Put that on your radar. These are the events. Pick ones that mean something to you. And some people always say, hey, I don't want to go by myself. Can you go with me? You're gonna know somebody there.
Absolutely.
Just that's a power. I go by myself all the time. And you know what? I know that I'm different, because I will talk to an aunt. I will talk to, like, I don't care. I'll talk to somebody. I will know somebody. But the whole point is that's the power of network. You don't know who you're gonna meet. And if you go to network and you have that mindset, if you make that one connection, that's it.
I met you at an event.
Right? We met at an event, and then after that, I've seen her everywhere.
Yes.
Right? But it's just like, I'm literally everywhere. Anywhere that I can help and uplift my community, I'm going to be a part of it.
All right, wonderful. So one of the things you mentioned is that Bay State does do sponsorship of community events. So if someone was interested in, like, they have a nonprofit, does it have to be a nonprofit, first of all?
No, it doesn't have to be a nonprofit.
Okay, so if you're interested in Bay State Bank sponsoring an event, what is the process for that?
So the biggest thing, guys, when especially with banks, I know with the federal funding has been really tight with nonprofits.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna even get into that right now.
Mm-mm.
Girl, shh. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I get so passionate about that. I'm not gonna cry. It just makes me mad. I don't want the fumes to come out. But it's just you guys. It's now we have to think about like now the private sectors, right? Banks. People are gonna start looking into how can I need funding.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of these organizations they need that to keep their doors open, right? So banks are getting targeted, foundations are getting targeted, which is okay. But make sure that when you do ask a bank for money, just have that banking relationship. Build a relationship with them. Get to know them. I always say go to your bank that you do your banking with first, right? Because we all have our banks that we have accounts with. Go to them first and say, hey, this is what's going on. How can you help me? How can we build something together? You know, and then if that doesn't work, then a lot of the banks, I know Bay State is, if you go into our website, there's going to be like a foundation page for grant. You can apply for grants and stuff like that. And if it's not up there, it's coming soon. But I know that other lenders have that option where you could just do an application and they go through the application process for the funding, because every bank has their budget for that year. You know, so you have to think about, okay, you're not the only one out there, right?
Yeah.
So then look at foundation money. You know, look at foundations like, man, should I even throw some out there?
Let's not, because then you're going to forget one and then.
Yeah. So listen, I don't want to be on nobody's target list,
Yeah,
but just do your due
leave it out there,
diligence.
but check it out.
Just check it out. Do your
Yeah.
due diligence. But if I can sponsor in dollars, I can sponsor with my time. And to me, my time means a lot to me because I love being there. You know what I mean? I love if you need me, like, girl, I need you to help me, you know, serve over here, or I mean, I'll braid somebody's hair. If you need me to braid somebody's hair all day, I know how to braid. You know what I mean? Like just things like that.
And eyebrows.
Oh, yeah, and eyebrows. Remember we.
You have to share that story.
I know.
If you want to share it,
you know, I should. You know, so okay. Well, he put it out there.
He did.
Okay, so fast forward, sidetrack. All right, since we're talking about eyebrows.
Yes.
So Eric, our city manager, he's a really good friend of mine, and this is way before we became city manager. You know, I used to do his eyebrows.
Yes.
And I used to braid his hair. Okay, so chickadee check. That's why he's always on point. You know, I haven't done his eyebrows in a long time. I don't know who he goes to now, but they look, you know.
They're all right.
I don't even know who he goes to right now. I wonder who your barber is. But anyways, fast forward, you know, I know Eric for a long time, but I used to do his eyebrows and braids.
Yes.
And I still do those things, but, you know, just for a certain clientele.
Yeah, he put it out there. That's
I
how
know he did. He's the one that told everybody, and it caught me off guard because I'm sitting in the audience, and I'm like, oh my God. You're like, that's how we met.
That's how we met. So he was like, and you're like, oh.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my God.
So I'm like, I have to come meet you.
Yeah.
I hear you do eyebrows.
And you do real estate?
I know.
And mortgages? I was like, girl, oh, you know what? I'm a one-stop shop.
You are. But I thought that was just fantastic.
That was the best. I was like,
thought it was just like.
I wonder if and I wish somebody recorded it because it was such a great moment. But that was his connection.
It was.
You know what I mean? That's just to show you the power of community.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're from Worcester, born Worcester, I mean, I see a lot of the people that I grew up with, and I see all the amazing things that they're doing. I even have my friends that hit me up and say, hey, I see that you're out on the community. I mean, I want to get involved. What can I do?
Wonderful.
It's just one thing at a time. Pick an event. Like say, hey, you know, I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Just go. I'm telling you, you're going to know somebody there. Trust and believe me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you're going to make those connections.
No, absolutely. You know, well, thank you for that, and I appreciate you sharing that. One of the things you talk a lot about, and you've said it in several instances when we talk, is about empowerment and financial education. Why is it so important for you to not only say get a house, but to teach financial literacy?
So I've been doing a lot of financial empowerment lately, because it's about knowledge, right? It's just not just about like, okay, in order for you to buy a house, in order for you to buy that car, you need to know your budget, right? And a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is like, I go out there, we have our team, and let's say, for example, say, Evelyn, I want you to do a segment on just like budgeting. You know, we'll come in here and I'm going to show you how to really budget and look at what you bring home and then versus of what you're putting out, right? You'll be surprised. Even when I do it for myself, I'm like, oh my God. And it's such an eye opener because sometimes we don't want to sit, we know in our heads. I don't know, and I was guilty of this. I'm like, I know I spend so much money, but I want to see it on paper because you know what? It's like, that's what it is. You have to get a reality check. In order for you to make moves, you got to literally know what you're doing, right? Knowledge is power. And that's why I'm always talking about financial empowerment is because it's so important. And the biggest thing with that is just budgeting your money. And then everything else will be smoother. Everything else will come. If you know how to budget your money, then we can work on your credit. And then we can work on getting your house, you know, because now you mastered that. You know, like you'd be surprised. Like now they took out cable, right? So now we're streaming. Now I got to pay for Netflix. I got to pay for, what you call, I was going to say Home Depot. I meant to say HBO.
Wait, is cable gone now? I mean,
I don't
gave it
know.
up years ago
I gave it up, but I'm
was,
still paying for
it
like.
was annoying.
It is annoying.
But now we have to pay for like HBO Max, Peacock, Paramount,
Hulu,
Netflix, like just all Hulu and like all
they're
of
all
these
at $10, $10, $10,
I
$3.
know, but now they're getting more expensive because now you can no longer share
Yep.
with your family member.
I know.
That's very sad.
So that adds
that was
up
tough for me.
It was.
And you know, and yeah, now like they're putting ads in again. Like we went away from ads. We went to streaming to get away from ads. Now they're putting in ads again, so you have to pay more just to not have
ad free.
And I'm like,
They're trying to get. It's so sad. It's
the ad
sad.
is annoying now.
It is annoying. So it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So you'll be surprised just with subscriptions. And then what about the ones you forgot about? Like, you know, like if you were like me, like a late night, I'm like, oh my God, I want to do wall Pilates. And I'm like, she got in shape in 30 days. Guess what? I had to sign up. And then they don't tell you sign up and then 30 days is only good for 30 days for free. And then they charge you $30 a month. And you forget about that. But those are just little things. So when you budget, like, oh my God, if you don't know what you have, sometimes there's a, I don't even like to throw that. There's apps. I'm not going to say the apps because I'm a bank and I don't want to promote another bank. Okay. So use your apps to help you find those subscriptions or print out your monthly statement for your, you know, from your bank and just see like, oh, what is this? I forgot all about this. You know, and then why are we paying Apple an extra $14 for a family share? Or like, you know, paying an extra $10 to get like extra gigabytes. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like just for Apple, our phone.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's just insane. So when you see all those things and we can cut down costs, you're like, wow, this is insane. You know, so you could do it on a monthly basis, or if you're really, I know some people that are really good at it. You know, like me, I'm always checking I'm on like, I wouldn't say daily, but every like other day, I'm always checking my account and I get alerts.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm always on point. You know, and then with that being said, one more tip is, when I teach the financial empowerment is don't be afraid to make sure you put your credit on lock, right? So what does that mean? You call all 3 credit bureaus. There might be one number you can call where it's like every time somebody pulls your credit, you have to give permission. That way, it just reduces the fraud. You know, because a lot of people are like, oh my God, I got identity theft. I don't know how somebody got my information. Just freeze your credit report. Freeze it so that every time you pull credit, you have to physically call them, which is not a bad thing. They unfreeze it. It's like, can you unfreeze it for like 5 days so they pull my credit? Okay. And then they freeze it again and nobody can mess with you. Just those are the things that I teach.
Thank you for the tip. So I'm going to have to figure out a way how to have you at one of my events, you know, talking about financial literacy. I have some really good people that teaches a whole lot of things, and I'm looking forward to have an event where I can have you come and
the
talk
nitty
about
gritty.
financial literacy.
Yeah. Financial empowerment.
Financial empowerment.
Yes,
financial
doesn't that sound better?
It does sound better. It does sound better.
It does, right? And that's
financial empowerment.
Yes.
Yes.
Do it again.
Empowerment. Financial empowerment.
Now do a shimmy.
Like even my chest rises.
I know you were just like financial empowerment. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't.
Okay. Well, thank you. Honestly, I do appreciate you sharing just honestly your journey, you know, where you are now, like some of the things, I mean, great things in the community. If you're interested, she's very accessible, you know, reach out. She mentioned follow her on social media. Reach out and ask questions. So, I mean, with you doing all this, because I think community engagement, which is funny, right? Like you have a job title and a job description, but what people don't realize is like, you show up for what the community needs. And there's no job description for that. It's like, because something that wasn't, before this current administration, and I'm going to stop myself there because that's all I'm going to say, your job entailed a certain amount of things. But after this current administration, after January 20th, 2025, certain things have gone into play where your role is kind of shifted because you have to kind of do things differently because, as you mentioned, there's less access to funding and, nonprofits and institutions and places that relied on certain funding no longer have it. So folks are thinking differently. So your role has changed. So there's no really like, okay, like I only do this. You are there for what the community needs.
And not only that, but if I can't help you, I'm going to help you get there. If I don't have the answers, I'll find the answers. I don't have the answers to everything, but I do know this, is that when I do help people, I do it with my heart. I do it with honesty. I show up for me. My intentions are, if you see me out, it's funny because I've seen a lot of people that have similar like positions as me from different banks, and I always read the room, right? And it's funny to see how they're just straight up sales. Like, you can't come into this. Read the room, right? Well, why? Why are you doing that? Don't go straight for the sales. Get to know your people. Get to know your honest. What do they need? Did you ask them how their day was? Did you ask them how can I help you? That's pretty much how I am. Is how can I help you? I would never bring it up to you. I would say, hey, I'll get to know you. I want to get to know who you are. And then once I understand your organization, like, how can I help you? What can I do where I am to help you? If I can help you on the bank side, great. But if I can help you with making connections, because all about who you know and networking, I will get this. And guess what? I know so-and-so, and she would, what?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's all about who you know and connecting.
Absolutely.
And uplifting each other. I'm all about uplifting all day.
All day long?
100%.
100%? All right, I love that.
I didn't even get a sip of my tea yet.
I know, right?
I'm
trying. Okay, you could sip while you're sipping. So you've had, we've talked about the professional aspect, and unfortunately, we only have an hour.
Yep.
So, I want to talk a little bit about you. So now, what do you do for self-care? Because you're a busy, fabulous woman, just taking charge and doing all things. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're a community leader, a community partner. You're on different boards and all that. And, I find that women, we don't take care of ourselves.
I know.
So let's talk about self-care.
Okay, so self-care. So I grew up in a hair salon.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, my biggest thing is find the day. So Sunday is funny. So I wake up, okay, long story short, I get my nails done every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I get my nails done. Okay, I do my pedicure every month and then change my nail color every 2 weeks on my feet. So I want to get my nails done.
Okay.
So that's my self-care.
But you wear closed-toe shoes, so I can't see.
I know, but I have to. I don't know about,
Don't take it off.
I'm not going to take it off right now.
Because we don't know.
Because it's cold outside.
Okay.
And so I get my pedicure and my manicure every 2 weeks because that's my self-care. I love doing that. I love feeling like just being pampered, right? My mother does my hair once a month to do my roots, but my mother doesn't treat me like every other customer. I gotta sit. So if a client comes in, I have to wait forever to get my hair done. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God. That's why my roots are like this. So
my sister's my hairdresser. I feel your pain.
Yes. So then just for me, my husband's really, really good. I think once I put the kids to sleep, that's like my moment. We recharge. I throw on my face mask. I take care of myself. I just that's what I do. And every Sunday, literally every Sunday, I do a face mask. That's he knows. He's like, oh, here she comes. I put the white thing on my face. I have my my whitening thing, the thing that goes in your mouth. It's called, what's it called? Glow. Okay. I put the glow in my mouth. I'm there and then I put the little self-care on my feet, and I try to do it every Sunday.
Okay, girl. I mean, you have fabulous skin. Your skin is fantastic.
Thank you.
So,
I can share what I do. So.
Yes. I mean, do you want to share?
The biggest thing with makeup is it's about underneath. Taking care of your skin. Obviously, drink a lot of water, because if you don't drink water, it's going to show in your face. Your face is going to crack. There's no way around it. If you don't like water, Crystal Light, okay? Crystal Light all day, right? Just make sure you're hydrated.
Drink water.
Just drink water, right? I'm not a good water drinker, so I drink a lot of Crystal Light, okay? So I'm just being honest. But it's just hydrating your face, take care of your face. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't wear makeup. I don't want to put makeup on, but you have to wear an SPF. Sunscreen all day. You have to take care of your skin. But the biggest thing is once you put makeup on, you have to find the best setting spray. My secret setting spray is Makeup Forever setting spray. It is the bomb. It makes your skin look like glass. Look, I've been wearing it since since 6 o'clock this morning. Look.
Okay.
I don't even know how it looks. Does it look okay?
Look amazing.
Okay.
It does.
But that's the secret. That's the secret. But you know what? It kind of locks it in, but then it locks in like, you know, the oils and what gives you like acne at the end of the day. You know, you just wash your face and then boom, done.
Take it off.
Yep.
All right. So
skincare is the biggest thing for me.
Okay. Wonderful. So I love that your skincare is your self-care and, you know, it takes care of you and, you know, you're such a girl.
I am a really girly girl. I am.
I love it.
I am.
I love it.
I can't.
I love it. So one of the things I've noticed about you, just, you know, from observing, is how protective you are and how connected you are to your network of women that are your girls, that are your people. So talk to me about that, like, because the power of sisterhood is incredible to me.
The sisterhood is insane. Like, there's so many. You guys, I mean, to all my sisters out there, I love you. And we know each other, you know, and I wish we could all be in this, you know, we can be all in the same room. We shouldn't be, I wish I could just be the medium, because you always have the beef between one and the other crew. We know who we're talking about, all right? But why can't we just do it together? We have the same mission. We're not trying to be better than this person, this one. Why can't we just be together and do it together? We're our strengths and our numbers, right? So we can do more together, right?
100%.
And that's how I see it. And it drives me insane when I see two amazing people that could be great together, but one is just, I don't know, like, it just drives me insane. But anyways, that's not me. What I do is this is what you get. This is what I do for business personally. And this is my personal life. This is my business life. What you see is what you get. I'm consistent. I'm who I am. I come who I am. I build relationships with people. And I think about the long term. You know, like I see, like, honestly, when I met you, I connected with you. It was a vibe thing.
It was?
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm a really, like, I don't go to church every day, but my faith in God is big because of my mom. You know, and I have a good relationship with him. And my biggest thing when I hear people put God first, that kind of like, almost like it's an icebreaker for me. I was like, oh, okay, we have something in common. You know, just little things like that, and then just building. You know, because all my friends, I love all my peoples, I love all my girls, but we all have different things, you know. And I think I'm good at just loving everybody. You can't love everybody the same, right? So I feel like I'd be able to, like, how can I explain it to you? It's like, for example, like if I'm around, let's say you, right? I know that you and I connected and this is what we love to do. You know, like I know that you don't like to wear sneakers in your house, right? See, you know that? She's very bougie. I thought I was bougie. I told her when I get home, I throw on some sweatpants and I have Crocs. But actually my son's Crocs. She's like, oh my God, I need an older pair of Crocs. But that's just because I keep that in mind and I remember those things. You know, I go in there and I'm just like, I don't know, I just build my relationship on trust, and I have really, really good network people in the same vision, uplifting. You know, like I want to be able to sit at the table. I want to see more women of color in these positions. I want to be seeing more women in general in these, you know, just getting out there and doing what they're supposed to do. You know, I don't want you to feel like, you know, like being a single mom or being a single parent is hard, but don't forget that use your village, you know, and if you don't have one, let's get you one. You know, it's the power of network. I don't even know if I answered your question.
You did. You did. We do. I think we do need women. We do. I think women need each other, and not toxic friendships. There's a lot of that, but I think the community of women that surround us, that support us, it doesn't have to be the same. Because again, you say you like your Croc and your sweats. That will never be me.
It's on a Sunday, girl. My house.
Still no.
Oh,
Still no. But it doesn't mean I won't show up in a gown and we hang out.
Okay, girl.
Like, I'm just saying, it's just like our differences, I think, is what makes relationship fantastic, right?
Exactly.
I don't do horror movies. I have friends, like my kids love horror movies.
I don't like horror movies.
You know, but I love romantic movies.
But what do you mean horror movies? Like
scary, like Jason.
I don't like gory stuff.
I don't have those time for
But I like vampire stuff. You know, like.
I mean, the vampire is cute, but
it's like the romance and all that
if
weird
the vampire
stuff.
is cute. I mean, I did watch Sinners.
Twilight. Oh, Sinners is good.
Yes.
What about Twilight? I like the books. Are you a book reader?
I did read the book.
Okay.
I did read the book. I love the books. I mean,
The books are different. The book's different.
the book's always better.
It's better.
100%.
You know, it sucks because we're older and it's like they're like young. It's kind of gross.
That's
You know
my
what I mean?
concern. I did like it then. Like I did like it then, but now I'm like,
Just little things. That's the kind of stuff I like. I like the little you know, I love the Avengers.
yes, 100. I've
I'm
seen
a Marvel.
every Marvel
Me too,
movie.
girl.
Every Marvel movie could, you know, and I always wait till the end because I know there's like a whole movie at the end.
Sucks. Sucks.
I'm like sitting in the theater. I'm like, I'm not leaving.
No, because we have to see what's gonna happen.
But we have to
next.
see what's gonna happen. So yeah, I'm a Marvel. I do like DC also, but I'm more Marvel.
Me too.
I've watched every single Marvel movie and things like that. Like, you know, your friend doesn't have to be exactly like you. I have friends that like hiking. I have friends that like jogging. I mean, I joined a run club for crying out loud. You have to do that.
Run?
Like,
oh my God, no what?
I'm not a runner, but I joined.
Do you
So
run? Are you running? Yeah.
I mean, some might argue no, but I mean, I walkish.
Yeah.
Like
I'm the worst runner ever.
I did my first 5K last year.
Oh,
so
nice.
yes, let's do it together.
Oh my.
Let's do it together.
Guys,
Like,
if you know me running.
yeah, we got to do this.
No, okay, I'm gonna have to train hard.
Like, yeah, I'm still
I got bad knees. Or maybe not, because I've been wearing my heels.
No, let it go.
Okay.
We're doing this.
Stop. I got it.
And you could wear your sweats. I wear tennis skirts, but you know.
Oh, but I can wear the cute little, you know.
You could wear your cute.
I don't wear sweats to
Serena
run.
Williams outfit. Like, yeah.
I don't know about wearing a tennis skirt.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, I have a lot of legs too.
Huh?
Just all out there, girl. Like, yeah. Oh damn. Okay. Oh, no, sidetrack. I'm sorry. I knew this was going to happen because I'm just a lot to me. There's a lot.
Yes, there are layers, and we love that. Like, we're women. We are complex. We are incredible. We're phenomenal. There's a lot of things that makes us who we are. I think, you know, we're not born and, like, this is who I'm going to be. And kudos to those who have that and just be it. Like, there's just many layers to who made you who you are. And I appreciate your story.
Thank you.
Your vulnerability and, you know, honestly sharing, because I think that inspires so many folks, right?
I hope so.
I really think it does. I really
so.
think it does, because it's like, it's not perfection. You know, I don't want folks to listen to any of the guests and says, well, I'll never achieve what they have achieved. I want them to look at my guests and be inspired. Oh,
never too late.
Absolutely.
Listen, I got my bachelor's at night. I used to work a full-time job, and I used to go at night at the accelerator program at Becker College. That's where I graduated and got my bachelor's degree. And I used to bring my son with me.
Do what you got to do.
You know, and I'll never forget, at the time, 99 Pub had kids eat on Wednesday for free. I used to go there right after. You know what I mean? Just like the thought process, like I had to do it. Like, and he was actually my motivation to do a lot of things.
I love that.
Listen, that's a whole different ballgame.
That's a whole different
So
ballgame.
I can relate in so many levels, and my story is just so massive. Maybe I should write a book. I should write a book. It's just a lot, because when I don't even know where to begin, because it seems like I'm all over the place. But it's just like,
let's begin.
You got to keep me centered, girl.
We will keep you centered. We'll figure
like,
out
you
how
gotta
to write
make sure
this
that I'm
book.
on the right track.
Like
you
you're
know,
on the right track. We will figure out, because I have an idea for you about the book. So we'll talk offline.
Okay.
But I think my producer's signaling wildly, like we're out of time. But I always like to ask, do you like to vacation, and where's your bucket list vacation place?
I like to vacation. I've been wanting to go to Hawaii.
Okay.
And Tuscany, because my favorite movie is Under the Tuscan Sun, and I have to go to Tuscany. I have to.
You have to.
I have to before I die.
Like you have
You heard
to.
Tom. I want to go to Tuscany. So.
Get it
Have you
together.
seen that movie, Under the Tuscan
Yes.
Sun, with
Yes,
Diane Lane?
of course, Diane Lane.
Oh
I
my
love
God!
it.
Honestly, that's when I was a single mom. That movie got me through so much. I know it sounds lame, but Tom is like my Marcello.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like Marcello.
It was a
He's
beautiful
gonna
movie.
hate me for this.
Yeah, she hasn't been in a lot lately. She used to be in a lot of movies at the time. But you know what? Sometimes they feel like as women age, they put us out to
No, but
pasture,
she's Superman's
we get
mom.
More. We get more fabulous.
She ends up being Superman's mom.
She is. But again,
Sidetracked. Sorry.
we go no. But they go from again a sexual being to, as they get older, they become the mom, which is, and they desexualize you.
This is true.
So
this is true. This is so. We can
Hollywood do better.
Yes.
Like,
yes. And
do
this
better.
is. Oh my God. This. How can we only have an hour?
Like.
Like, why you have only an hour? Especially with me, it should be like, this should be like 2 hours.
Okay, I mean, we could do a part
I'm
two.
just saying, girl.
We could
Like,
do a part two.
how is this only an hour? We haven't even we just touched the
We
surface.
haven't even hit the surface.
Not even.
Like, yeah. So then you know what? Well, the season ends in June.
Okay.
But season 4 starts in September.
Okay.
So we could come back for part 2.
Okay, part 2.
We could come back for part 2, but it was truly a pleasure listening to you. I know it really is very hard to get everything in an hour, like just to try to touch on everything. Like we got to touch on your motivation. We got to touch on your professional life. We got to touch on vacation and self-care and kids and, like all of that. And, but I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I knew some things. I learned some things.
I'm so happy.
I was touched by just your relationship with your mom and just your faith.
Thank you.
As I continue to be, I think God is always intentional.
Oh, definitely.
Of how He connects people and His people find His people. And
if you see it too, you have to see the signs.
Absolutely.
And open the doors.
I just knew I had to come over and meet you after
I
that
know.
Hybrid story.
I know. Listen, like, who is this person? Oh, I gotta give a shout out to my kids real quick.
Oh, absolutely.
Makai, Javen, Thomas, I love you. I hope you're watching. I have 3 boys, by the way.
Okay.
Boy, mom.
Oh, boy, girl, mom. So.
Give me kudos.
Like, yes. We love what we love, right? But listen, and you shout out the hubby, I think, a couple of times, so he's good.
Yes, he's good. He's good.
Get that Tuscany trip ready.
Yeah. He's like, I gotta bring the kids.
Wow.
It's he who doesn't want to, I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they're little.
Yeah.
So shame on me. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Bring the kids. Yeah. Okay. Get the Tuscany trip ready. It's gonna be a lot more expensive with kids, but it is because kids are expensive and they pay full price starting at age 2. But anyway.
Oh God, this is true. I don't want to fly anywhere anyway.
Yeah. All right. But listen, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate my loyal viewers and subscribers tuning in week after week. I appreciate you. Fabulous guests always. Shout out to our executive producer, Paul Anderson. And thank you, Miss Evelyn Toney, once again.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Your faith, your vulnerability, just everything about you. Thank you for sharing your essence.
Thank you, girl.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Anytime.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Some people, they don't know how to take things sometimes.